prices? Meaning, to some degree, do you have any concern that those stocks are overinflated, or do you really believe that all this is just accelerated and that the valuations accurately reflect where they are today, or frankly, where they'll be even better yet 12 months from now?
Well, if you think something like Tesla is going to go from 30 or 35 billion in sales to 600 or 700 billion in sales in 10 years, so 20 times, is that overpriced right now? How many businesses that you think are like that?
What's up, guys? Ben here, and welcome to Motivation to Invest. Ron Barron is one of the world's greatest investors. As the founder of Barron Capital, a fund with net assets of over $30 billion. He's widely regarded as one of the biggest Tesla bulls. And on a video that I did on this channel, he actually predicted back in January 2020 that Tesla would go to the moon. And now in October 2020, he's just done another interview. So this will be really exciting and interesting for you guys. He has predicted that Tesla will double at least 3 more times in the next 10 years. But remember, guys, he does have a large position in this stock, so that does need to be taken into account. Either way, if you enjoy this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. That really helps out with the channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla is such a huge part of your funds at this point, and that stock has had a pretty phenomenal year.
In those two stocks, in those two funds, it's a very important part. It represents, as you said, 35 or 40% of each of those funds. And that stock is up 10 times in the past 2 years or 3 years. We invested in it between 2014 and 2016. We invested $300 million, $320 million for 1.6 million shares. At that time, it's now 8 million shares, 5-for-1 split, so it's $40 a share, as you said. And the stock's now 400 or 420. And when we invested, and I was on your program, I was talking about how I believe we would make 20 times our money over 10 or 15 years. And so far, in the first 4 or 5 years that we've owned it, the stock went up and down like a yo-yo, and that would be expected because what they were doing is they were building facilities, hiring people, coming up with design. It's a reasonable thing to bet against them. All these car companies, 50 of them have failed, and this guy somehow had made it through sheer willpower and raised capital. Now he has 50,000 employees, and he has factories he's building on 3. I want to get to Tesla too. I want to answer your news question. But Tesla's now building on 3 different continents, building in the United States, building in China, building in Germany. And you should expect more factories to be built continuously over the next 10 years.
Do you think the stock has passed the days of volatility because it's gotten on steadier ground, or do you worry that some of the Robinhood investors and others who have been so attracted to what Tesla has to offer, if there's any sort of shakeout in the market, does that impact them, and would volatility come back?
Well, what we worry about are not stock prices. When we're an investor in a business, we worry about the business. And the short term, I can't have any clue about what's going to happen. I do think that it's now a $400 billion market cap. It was $40 billion when we started. I've said for a long time, I thought it was going to be $1 to $2 trillion. With what developments have taken place recently, I think $2 trillion is the right number. So I think it's 5 times from here. Made 10 times in the past 2 or 3 years, but for 4 years before that, the stock didn't change, and the business grew tenfold. So the business went from $2.8 billion to $30 billion 10 times. The stock price didn't change. Now the stock price just caught up to where they were. Now I think that the business is going to go from 30 or 35 billion in sales, grow 50% a year. I think they're going to be doing 5 or 6 or 7 or $800 million in sales in 10 years on just the cars. And the batteries is another unbelievable business, which I'm very excited about. And I think that with that kind of valuation, with that kind of results, you're going to see a 5 times appreciation. I was thinking 3 to 5 times. So maybe 10 times so far, 3 to 5 times to come in the next 10 years. Two more doubles, maybe 3 more doubles in 10 years. Is what the expectation is. About their business, they have, when they did this battery day, they described how the suppliers weren't keeping up with them. NVIDIA wasn't developing the chips fast enough, so therefore they had to develop their own chip. And the reason NVIDIA wasn't doing that was because they were supplying other car companies who didn't need the chips as rapidly as Tesla did. Volkswagen, by the way, is going to be very successful in autonomous cars. Most of these other guys, in electric cars, most of these other guys are having difficulty. So what I think about the opportunities that these businesses have are so enormous, and for most businesses, they're going to have to change models, and people want to invest in growth. They want to invest in business and growing. Will Danoff talked about how he wants to invest in companies that are going to triple in size in 5 years. Here's a company that they think is going to grow 20 times in 5 years. What's the right multiple? And then for that, you're not even including what's going to happen when they go to autonomous driving, what's going to happen when they go to ride sharing, what's going to happen when they have a battery that's more powerful than others. They take out the stop signs on the highway, use different materials, and therefore you get 500 miles for a charge. And where are the batteries going to come from? The batteries are the critical point that's allowing this, stopping the company from growing even faster, getting enough batteries. Anyway, I also, when I go to restaurants and we sit on terraces, people comment to me and they say, "Oh, there's the Tesla guy. Oh, there's the Tesla guy," because of you, the Tesla guy. And what I want to be known as ultimately is not just the Tesla guy, but also the SpaceX guy. And this is too early for me to really talk about it. It's a private company still, and a valuation on the company is now 43, 44 billion. And we're an investor in that, probably on 1% of the company. And what I think in that one is, well, I'm thinking about Tesla. We've made 10 times so far, 3 to 5 to come, so we'll make 30 to 50 overall. And in SpaceX, I think that has a chance to be just as large as Tesla. We'll see. But in the next couple of years, I'm going to be talking to you a lot more about SpaceX than I'm going to be able to do right now.
Hey, Ron, I think Andrew was also asking about some of the other stocks. You guys have 450 investments in your portfolio. That includes companies like Amazon, Shopify, Twilio, Peloton, Zoom. Are you thinking the same thing with all of those companies, or are there points where you worry that any of those stocks have gotten ahead of what you think the growth it should be and how long it'll take to catch up to the stock price?
It's very hard to come up with the exact valuation of businesses all the time. Markets are not efficient when companies are growing as fast as those businesses are. We have 17 funds, and of the 17 funds, 10 of them are 5-star by Morningstar, and 4 of them are 4-star. And we've had this is a record-breaking performance for us. As far as all those companies that you mentioned, they're owned by a lot of our funds. Not in the size that I own Tesla, of course, but across the board, we have investments. And those are businesses that they've changed how you operate. I mean, Peloton, you're working at a distance, exercising at a distance with a trainer who's distance from you and working in your room. And Zoom, you're having these Zoom calls. My God, the Zoom calls I'm on, my wife says to me, she says, "Ronnie, what are you doing? You're staying near your desk all day long. How can you not move?" And she's in the next, she has an office next to mine, and she says, "What are you doing?" And she says, "You have to take more time. You have to rest more." So they're changing your life. Spotify is changing the way you hear music, and Shopify is allowing small businesses to operate and being their partner and enabling to do business where they couldn't before. And Amazon, this AWS is amazing. I'm sure sooner or later they're going to probably separate those businesses with regulatory requirements, but that doesn't sound to me like a negative. But we guys at our office, they're expert. We have 438 investments, not 450, 438. And okay. We have 40 analysts, but they know that. I don't know it.
Right, guys, so that's today's video. What do you think of Ron Barron's thoughts on Tesla? Do you think it will continue going to the moon, or do you think it's still overvalued? Also, on Battery Day, they announced it will take 3 years for their $25,000 car to be manufactured. Do you think that's too long? Do you think investors will start to pull out? These are all important questions. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you guys found some value in this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. That really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And if you want more investing tips and exclusive stock market picks, which I personally am investing into, then you should definitely subscribe to this channel and turn that notification bell on. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Invest safe.